Bismillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillah. Today we are going to start our discussion of pragmatics. I'm going to summarize what we have studied in the first chapter in Pragmatics by George Yule through this exercise. The exercise is assess the validity of the following statements. So we need to say that these statements are true or false, valid or invalid. And if they were valid, how can you correct these statements, these invalid statements? In the following exercise, we need to know the basics of pragmatics, the tenets of pragmatics, the main points in pragmatics. And after that, we are going to study the pragmatic chapters in the book by George Yule. The first statement is pragmatics is the study of the speaker's meaning. Sure, this statement is valid because the first definition of pragmatics studies the speaker's meaning. And here we want to know what the meaning of speaker's meaning. The speaker's meaning is the intended meaning by saying something. Here we differentiate between the sentence meaning, what the sentence means, and what the speaker says, what the speaker means by saying this sentence, what the speaker means by saying this sentence. For example, this is the best day in my life. This is the best day in my life. This is a sentence. This is a sentence. Example, this is the best day in my life. What do you think of the meaning of this sentence? Of course, if we analyze the meaning of this sentence, this refers to something which is singular. This is the best. The best is the opposite of the worst. The best means the greatest day in my life. So this sentence means that this day is greater than all other days in my life. This day is better than other days in my life. Okay, I feel happy. It can mean a lot of things. But of course, this sentence cannot mean, if I'm analyzing the meaning of this sentence, I cannot think that this sentence means that this is the worst day. Of course, it's the opposite of the worst day. Who said this sentence? I don't know. To whom? Where? When? Why? I don't know this. I don't know who the speaker is. But the pragmatic meaning or the utterance meaning or the speaker's meaning of this sentence, I should know who the speaker is and to whom he is speaking and how he is speaking. So it must be in its situation or in its context. So if I tell you that one of the students came to my office and asked me, I want to ask about the courses you are teaching. Actually, I didn't do well on the exams and I want to know if I have passed these courses or not. So I told him, I'm sorry to tell you that you failed in all these courses. Oh, this is the best day of my life. Of course, when the student said, oh, this is the best day in my life, it does not mean that it's really the best day in his life. It means, yes, it's the worst day. So it means the opposite. It means the opposite. Yes, it means the opposite. How can I know that it means the opposite? Does the word the best, the adjective the best means the worst? No, of course no. But here in this situation, this speaker means that it's the worst. This speaker means that it's the worst. Not this sentence. The sentence does not mean the worst. but the speaker means. يبقى here this is the difference between the sentence meaning and the speaker's meaning. And this is the difference between the study of semantics in the traditional way of studying semantics, that semantics studies sentence meaning, what is meant by the sentence, while pragmatics studies the speaker's meaning, the intended meaning of the speaker in a specific situation, in a specific context. So this sentence is of course valid. Pragmatics is interested in the investigation of decontextualized meaning. If we say that pragmatics is interested in decontextualized meaning, what is the meaning of decontextualized? Outside context, without context. Of course, no, this is invalid. Pragmatics cannot study meaning without context, without knowing who the speaker is, where he is speaking, when he is speaking, how he was speaking, to whom he was speaking. All these components of the situation or the context are very essential in the pragmatic meaning, because as we said, the situation can change the meaning. So I cannot study pragmatic meaning without situation. How can I know that the best means the worst without telling you this story about the student who came to my office? Of course, you need to know the story. So this is invalid. How can I make it valid? I can make it valid by removing DE. Pragmatics is interested in the investigation of contextualized meaning. Now it's valid. Now it is valid. Okay, let's go to the next statement. This is number 4. Pragmatics studies how. Number 3. Pragmatics is concerned with what is communicated without being said. Pragmatics is interested in what is communicated without being said. It is sentence. Strange. Can we communicate something without saying it? Yes, and this is the main interest of pragmatics. Pragmatics is not only interested in what is communicated by saying, but what is communicating by not saying, the unsaid. What's communicated without being said. How to communicate something without saying it. Okay, let's have this example. A is talking to B. Is Mary a beautiful, polite girl? Yeah, she's polite. Is Mary a beautiful, polite girl? Yeah, she's polite. Here, I communicate something, but without saying it. I said that she's polite, but I communicated something else. Yes, you're right. She's not beautiful. She's not beautiful. Did I say she's not beautiful? No, I didn't say this. But actually, I communicated it or not, you got the message. You got the message, of course. Here, I communicated something without saying it. So pragmatics is interested with this, with what is communicated without being said. What's communicated through saying or through speech, through direct speech, through the plain way of saying it clearly, This is not very difficult to analyze. But what is communicated without being said? Oh, this needs some situation, some context, some theories to analyze this. And in pragmatics, there are a lot of theories which is interested in communication without saying. So yes, here pragmatics is concerned with what's communicated without being said. Yes, this is valid. Pragmatics studies how a great deal of what is unsaid is also communicated. Yes, the same thing. This is valid. As we said, pragmatics studies how we can communicate without saying, how we can communicate something without saying it. Yes, a great deal of what is unsaid, is also communicated. Actually, in most of our speech, in most of our communication, we communicate something without saying it. We communicate something without saying it. Okay? So, for example, if you need a pen and you want to write something and you are in the classroom and you want a pen from one of your colleagues, but you don't want to ask directly. So, oh, I've lost my pen. I've lost my pen. Here, actually, you do not to tell them this piece of information. You are not informing that you have lost your pen, but actually you are requesting for a pen. Here, you did not say it directly, I need a pen, or please give me a pen, or could you give me a pen? But actually, you communicate that you need a pen. You communicate that you need a pen, but without directly saying this. So this is unsaid. This is unsaid. So this is a valid statement. And in your study of pragmatics, you would study different examples and different theories about the unsaid. Pragmatics studies the relationship between syntactic structures and sentence meaning. Pragmatics studied the relationship between syntactic structures and sentence meaning. Actually, this sentence or this statement is not valid, because pragmatics is not interested in the relationship between syntax and sentence meaning. As we said, sentence meaning is something written, something without a speaker, without situation. But this is the study of semantics. This is the study of semantics. Here, if I want to correct this, I would say that semantics studied the relationship between syntactic structures and sentence meaning. For example, if I say, Ahmed broke the window. The window was broken by Ahmed. Both these sentences have the same semantic meaning, the same sentence meaning, but different structures. Here I changed the structure from active into passive. I changed the voice of the sentence from active into passive. But they have the same propositional meaning, the same meaning. The meaning of the sentence is the same. Whether Ahmed broke the window or the window was broken by Ahmed, both of them have the same semantic meaning, So this is the study of the relationship between syntactic structures and sentence meaning. It's okay. So this is invalid. If I want to correct it, I can change. Instead of writing pragmatics, I can write semantics. Number 6, context cannot influence our utterances. Our utterances means the utterance. What's the meaning of the utterance? The utterance means the speaker's meaning. The utterance meaning means the speaker's meaning. Because utterance comes from the word utter. It comes from the word utter. To utter means to speak. To utter something means to speak, to say, to speak. Utter, say, speak. So utterance meaning means the speaker's meaning. Do you think that the context cannot change the speaker's meaning? The situation cannot change the speaker's meaning? That's what we're talking about. Of course, the context, it changes the speaker's meaning. يبقى here, context can influence our utterances. Okay? Context can influence our utterances. Okay? As we said in the different examples, the situation or the context of situation, who said this, to whom, how, when, where, can it change this? Okay? Suppose that you are talking to one of your friends, and while you are talking to him, he asked you, what do you think of this teacher? What do you think of this teacher? You said he's excellent. And while saying that he's excellent, you show thumbs down. What the meaning of this? Of course, you mean the opposite. Okay? So how something is said, the gestures can also change the meaning. The gestures, the smiles, sticking your tongue out, okay? All these can change the meaning. Pragmatics studies utterance meaning. That's what we said before. Pragmatics studies utterance meaning, means the speaker's meaning. Utterance means what the speaker utters, what the speaker says, what the speaker utters. So yes, this is valid. This is a valid statement. Pragmatics studies utterance meaning. This is valid. Closeness determines how to be said. Closeness between the speakers determines how much needs to be said. Yes, of course. Closeness determines what I should tell you and what I should not tell you. Suppose that one of the students came late to the lecture. And I asked him, why are you coming late? He told me, I was in the girls' college. So for me, it does not make sense. Why did you go to the girls' college? He told me that I was in the girls' college because my sister is studying there and I had to give her a lift to the college before coming to the class. Okay. Now I can understand. So he needs to tell me this story about his sister. But suppose that his father asked him the same question, why are you coming late? Oh, I was in the girls' college. Oh, he doesn't need to tell him, of course. He doesn't need to tell him that his sister is studying at the girls' college and he gave her a lift. So, of course, this depends on what? On the closeness and relation between them. His father, of course, knows about this information, so it would be silly to tell him this piece of information. But for me, as a teacher, I don't know about this. So, the closeness determines what should be said to whom. Pragmatics is the study of relationship between linguistic forms and the users of these forms. Oh, pragmatics is the study of the relationship between linguistic forms. What the meaning of linguistic forms? Phrases, clauses, sentences, utterances, and the users of these forms. Who are the users of these forms? Human beings, the speakers, the writers. So, here I study the relationship between the linguistic form, what is written, what is spoken, and the speaker himself. The meaning of this sentence, when this speaker says this sentence, not the general meaning or the encyclopedic meaning of this sentence. No, I'm talking about the meaning of this sentence when it is said by this speaker. So this is valid, of course. Number 10, semantics studies the relationship between the linguistic forms and the entities in the world. Yes, that's true. Semantics studies the relationship between the linguistic forms and the entities in the world. So one of the ways of studying meaning, of studying semantic meaning, is the relation between the word and its referent. Referent means the object in the external world that this word refers to. So for example, what is the meaning of a door? I can give the meaning of a door by just referring to the door. And this way is called ostension. Ostension. This is called ostension. And all of us, ostension. Ostension means learning meaning by pointing. Of course, most of us learn in this way in our childhood. What the meaning of a window? This is the window. What the meaning of a door? This is the door. What the meaning of a book? This is a book. So I know the meaning of words through its relation with the entities in the external world, the reference in the external world. But of course, this is not the only means for learning meaning, but this is one of the ways of learning meaning. Yes, so this is true. This is valid. Pragmatics and semantics are two unrelated disciplines. Actually, this sentence is invalid. Semantics studies what? Sentence meaning. Pragmatics studies what? Utterance meaning. So of course there is something in common between them. Both of them are studying meaning. And according to cognitive linguistics, there is no cognitive boundary between semantic meaning and sentence meaning actually. In cognitive linguistics cannot accept or does not accept the boundary between semantics and pragmatics. Why? Because actually when we understand meaning, we do not understand it step by step. I do not understand first sentence meaning and then I go to the pragmatic meaning. When I understand the situation, I understand it as a whole. When the student told me that this is the best day in my life, in this situation I understand directly that it means the worst day in my life. I don't first understand it semantically and then understand it pragmatically. Cognitively, we do not have these boundaries. We do not go step by step, but we understand meaning comprehensively. Thank you very much. I wish I could explain something for you, and inshallah we can give more lectures on pragmatics. Thank you very much. Best of luck.